Our guest this week on Demetris and a Splash of Fanta is the Big 12 Player of the Week, De'Vion Harmon, leading the Oklahoma Sooners to top 10 wins over Texas, over Alabama. They've been making statements. De'Vion, you're wearing a JBY black cap as you talk to us. What does JBY mean?
Just means just be you. You don't want to, everybody else is taken. Just be yourself. Embrace who you are. Don't try to be anybody else. Because, like I said, I'd rather, fail and succeed with being me, than just succeed all the way and be somebody else. So, just being myself is the best thing I can do.
Speaking about being yourself, you had high expectations coming out of high school your freshman year. From what I've read, you didn't really have the year that you wanted. What changed from last year to this year, from the jump you made, from improvements that you made? What changed from just having that 1 year under your belt?
Probably more the mental aspect of things, way beyond the physical. It's so easy, when things don't go the way you want them to be. You can kind of get off a little bit, but just staying locked in, man. Stay in the moment. Keep working, and that's what I did. Just went back to work.
And I was also reading that you had some mentorship with Blake Griffin, Trey Young, and Buddy Hield. What was that conversation like during the off season? Did that help you turn on this year?
Oh, for sure. Those guys have been like definitely three big brothers to me. Really what they say is really just don't stop. You know what I mean? Like, especially after the kind of up and down year I had my freshman year, they said come back, and just go. Just work, just go hoop. You know what I mean? Like, forget everything else and just go play basketball. Yeah, just go hoop. And I went back to work, and I had those guys in my ear, and that's what I did. And it's been a success so far.
How do you make sure, as a player, De'Vion, that you have the right people in your ear?
It kind of gets hard at times because so many people can get in, and so many people try to get in, especially when they see you doing good and stuff. But it's just staying true to the people who's been there for you, because really when you're doing good and you're doing, like last year I didn't have the year I wanted to, and some people kind of went off the bandwagon, and then this year some people are starting to get back on that weren't on last year. So it's like it's like sometimes it's like I pat you on my back, then the other way around, vice versa. But just staying true to my family, to the real friends that I have that want to see me succeed, and just staying close to them, and everything else kind of take care of itself.
You guys are probably the hottest team in college basketball for the past 2 weeks. You guys, before this last loss to Texas Tech, you guys were on a 5-game winning streak. What changed after those back-to-back losses from number 2 Baylor and number 6 at the time, Kansas? What changed after those 2 losses, whether in the locker room and practice? What clicked for you guys as a unit?
Man, I think that KU game, we were so close, especially on the road in a hostile environment like just like Lawrence and Fog Allen. But man, we were so close. I think that was kind of like the turning point for us. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get the win, but we saw something. We could really go back from that game, and we could see, okay, all right, this is where we go from there. And man, I think it was just us as a team, and then like the coaching staff. I don't know, maybe a few adjustments here and there, and we just went to work. And after that week against Baylor and KU, we went to work, and we started on that Tuesday against TCU, and man, we've been on fire since then. So I think an important thing to us is staying locked in. I always say that, but I always preach that. But staying locked in is so important. Over the course of the season, the season's long. You go through losing streaks, you go through winning streaks, but you got to stay even kill, never get too high, never get too low. Over the course of the season, man, we're on a hot streak right now, and obviously we just lost one against Tech, but And it's also all about bouncing back.
Yeah, yeah.
I think of the win over Alabama, who had won 10 in a row, was playing as well as anybody in the sport. And before tip off, from our perspective, we all find out with an hour to go to tip, Austin Reeves isn't playing, and he's one of the best players out there. When did you find this out? And then what are you thinking going into the game?
Man, I found it out maybe at the same time everybody else found it out, or maybe that morning a little bit before, maybe after pregame meal or something like that. But that game was huge. No one knows two were out. I wasn't gonna let us lose that game. And I know how much stuff was. I know how much, you know, how much the stakes were so high on that game, how much weight was riding on that game, and honestly, me, I just didn't want to hear about, I don't want them to give us an excuse. Or they didn't have their two starters, so we give them. No, I don't like that. We're gonna win with who we got on the floor, and that's what makes our team more dangerous. And I was so happy. Like, of course, I had a really good game, but I was happy. I was happy that we got to win, and that we could really just, quiet everybody else. Go into the locker room, celebrate, and just know that the work that we put in as a team paid off that morning.
What did that do for you personally? Because, like you mentioned, you have your two main guys out, and you have to step up as a point guard and as a leader, having that year under your belt. You're still a sophomore, but you're mature. You play the game the right way. What did that game against Alabama do for you, confidence-wise? Because ever since then, I feel like you've been rolling, man. You've been playing.
Yeah, just it's doing a lot. Really, after that TCU game, I had 22 against there, and ever since then I've been rolling on the 5 game win streak that we've been on.
Yeah.
And that Alabama game really just it solidified. It has really solidified that they come as one of the hottest teams in college basketball. They won 10 games in a row, been blowing teams out by 20, 30, number 1 team in the SEC, number 9 team in the country. And I was like, this is a game where you can show the world, what you're about. I remember after the game, me and my dad had shared a moment together, just the work that me and him had put in, like during the quarantine phase, man. We worked every day, 3 times a day at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, and we just shared a moment, man. We shared a moment. He started crying, I started tearing up, and we just shared a moment, man. It was a big moment for us, big moment for my teammates, and my family, and just left it all out. Just left it all out there on the court.
You said during that quarantine period that through the work with your father, De'Vion, that not only was it basketball, but it was accompanied by becoming a better person. Tell us about that.
Man, we worked on a lot. It wasn't just it was kind of some people would, not to y'all, I know y'all understand, but to some outside people would be kind of odd, that you kind of work on the other side, not basketball.
Sure.
But we knew what we were doing, and we did that because that's what's going to help me on the court. That's going to help me be a better player and better leader. So we really worked on the mental on the mental part of it. We had watched film a lot, even if it was just us just going to walk or something. Kind of do that mental visualization in your head a little bit. So that's what I kind of do before the games. Like if I'm before my pregame, how Kyrie does the burning sage or whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and burn sage because that's not what I do. But I'll grab the basketball and I'll walk back and forth, over the width of the basketball court. Just back and forth, kind of think, kind of bounce the ball, kind of feel it in my hands, kind of look up, see the lights, just stuff like that to get your mind going. You know what I mean? It's it's a psyche thing. Everybody is different, but that's what I kind of do. And that's what I kind of learned. Even before my workouts with my dad, I'd walk around a little bit, kind of just feel it, just have that feeling in my mind, my heart, my body, my soul, kind of feel it, and then just put it all in the work, man. It's been working. So, it's like people say the old cheesy slogan, why fix it if it ain't broken?
Yeah. I definitely hear you, man. I definitely hear you. Talk about the relationship with your dad, because you mentioned his name a couple times on the podcast. What is it like to have somebody that you can trust, that you can go to for advice, whether on and off the basketball court. Talk about having a relationship with a man, but also your father, and how that helps you to become a better person and on and off the court.
Yeah, I'm so blessed and so grateful that I have my dad, but especially my parents in the same household, under the same roof. They've been married for 23, 24 years. That's not every kid has that, and I'm so fortunate, so blessed to be able to have them to this day. They're here, they're healthy. Be able to have my dad there, man, it's such a big piece. Because some kids like me don't have that, and my dad gets to show me how to know the ropes, you know, to being a respectful, and a successful young man. And I've been so blessed to do that, which has helped me beyond basketball. Just me as a person, me as I have a little brother, me able to show my big brother the way to go. That's like my job, being a father without really being without really being a dad. And he's shown me so much. Man, I love it. Like that's my parents are definitely my hero. I get to watch them every day and watch them go to work. And one day they're not gonna have to work no more. But I know they're proud of me. I know they're proud of my little brother as well, and just want to know they have their last name and they gave it to me, and I just want to keep it going.
You are known as Mr. Den, Texas. So tell us about your roots.
Oh yeah, I love back at home. I actually just got my area code tatted on me. Excuse me, last week. So, home is where the heart is. Like I said, like I grew up there. I had a lot of opportunities to leave during high school. Go to academy, go to prep school. But I mean, why wouldn't you want to try to win at home? And like I went to Denton High School, which was like, I mean, when I say literally 5 minutes away from my house, like I made the school in 5 minutes. It was amazing. Every time I get to go back there, it's really all love. That's the one thing I will say is that there's very few people, back at home that that don't want to see me succeed. They all really do. They all root for me. They all hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, and if they don't have my number, they text my parents. It's all love, and I can't wait to give back to that community. And that's what that's what's going to help me do. Is help me give back to the high school and middle school, even elementary school, and the churches around there. Just do stuff. I mean, I want to use that. I want to use basketball. I want to use basketball as a platform for me to give back to my community. Because who doesn't want to do that? Give back to their community and make a bigger impact than just dribbling the basketball.
Speaking about giving back, so everyone on your team, each team has a role. Is a piece of the puzzle. What role do you play on the Sooner team, and what piece do you play as being the starting guard?
Man, really, it's at first it was more like bringing energy on defense. Hitting the open shots and stuff like that. But I made myself into a really a bona fide scorer. I can go get a bucket. Whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's adding pieces, especially with Austin, and our other guys, scoring. That's my role, is to go get buckets, bring energy, man. Compete. Some guys just don't compete every play, and that bugs me. I mean, because I love you gotta compete to win games.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like that's my role. Like I have a bunch of roles inside of one, but it's to compete, it's to fight every play, lock up on defense, and go get a bucket. And when we need one, we can put the ball in my hands or whoever, and we're gonna go get it and go get a bucket, man.
Talk about Austin Reeves, man. He's he's a leading scorer on your team, and he plays with a lot of energy. You talked about energy. I talk about his work ethic, how he is in the locker room, how he is in practice, because in the game it seemed like you two guys are having a lot of fun, and you guys are out there competing, playing, doing what you have to do as teammates, but also as leaders. So talk about Reeves and what he brings to the table.
Man, I kind of call Austin. I haven't really told him, but if I had a word for him, it'd be like the quiet assassin. because he don't say much as people think he would. Like they leave that for me. That's what he tells. So I would do more talking and stuff. You know what I mean? Whether it's on the basketball court or whether it's talking, saying our prayers like that. I'm the more talkative person, which is fine. But I would call him the quiet assassin because we all know what he can do. We all know the buckets he can, he can throw at you. But he don't say much. He won't say much, but he'll go do that. And playing alongside him, we can, we're like each other's co-pilot. You know what I mean? One night he might be pilot and I might be co, and other nights, I'm pilot and he's co-pilot. But man, we've been able to feed off each other so much better this year than last year. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if you watch and anybody who knows basketball can really see that as well.
Yeah.
So it's been good, but nah, he's we definitely missed him past few games. But the excitement that he had after we beat Bama, he had texted me after. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say everything he said on camera on this, but man, he was he was so excited, and I remember telling him that, so I'm not gonna lose this game, man. After this game, you're not gonna be saying, oh, good job and stuff or whatever. You're gonna be hyped. So we can't wait. Can't wait. I think he gets back today or tomorrow, and he'll be ready for. Hopefully, he'll be ready for Saturday. So we just know he's back like he never left. So we're gonna be back, and can't wait to get back on the court with him.
What's the best conference in college basketball?
Oh, Big 12. That's no question. Big 12.
Why is that?
Man, it's a gauntlet. Every game, man. You go, man. Y'all have seen our schedule. We going against teams. We got KU and then Texas, and even though Bama's in the SEC, we had that game. I mean, we had Tech after that. Like, I mean, it's a grind. I mean, it's no blowout. There's no blowout that much, and y'all see the scores. There's no blowout like that. I mean, it's going from a tip. It's a 40-minute ball game. You got to be ready every night. You got to be ready, and that's what we preach as a team. That's what the coaching staff preaches to us, is that you got to be ready because it's coming. Every night you play on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, you got to get going, whether you win or lose, and you got to get ready for Saturday. And sometimes it'd be a quick turnaround. You might play Monday, so it's a grind. It's gonna be a 40-minute ball game every time. And that's what I love about the Big 12 is that there's no easy night. You got to go out there and you got to go compete.
You guys lost to Texas Tech first in week 8. You guys lost by 2. Last game you guys played Monday, you guys lost by 5. What is it about Texas Tech that you guys can't get over that hump? Because, you guys are right there, but it always seemed like they finish and they make more plays down the stretch than you. What's the difference between you guys and Texas Tech?
I think that's what it is. I think at the end, when it comes down, to the last few minutes, they made more plays than us. Both games.
You guys want that rematch, right?
Yeah. Oh man, don't even want it. I want it. And recently we lost on Monday. Yeah. We can look at how many shots we missed, but I mean, since I'm was out there and had the ball in my hands, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I was 4 for 15. I had one of them nights, 4 for 15, and I was 0 for 6 from 3. If 4 for 5 from the free throw line. If I didn't miss the friend of the 1-and-1, I knocked those 2 down, then we're down by 1. Instead
right.
You know what I mean? Instead of them, say we're down by 3, and if they go get a bucket, then they're gonna shoot 2 free throws after that, I think, and then we're down by 5 now. You know what I mean? Just so we look at the game like that, But I just think I got hot in the second half, and which was good. But I think I got in that thing. I think I got to get more. You got to put the ball in the hole. That's the object of basketball. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. You got to put the ball in the basket. I think at that point, I got to, I got to, find a way to put the ball in the hole. Then stop shooting, because real scores and real shooting, they don't stop shooting. They keep going. But if, maybe, I feel like, we win the game. If I don't miss 11 shots, if I miss, even if I miss, 9 or maybe 8 shots, give us a chance, to win the game. Maybe if I knock down a 3, That's 3 points. Lost the game by 4. You know, so if I hit a 3 or 2, you know, then we're on the other side of the board. So that's like that's how I look at the game. So I feel like in that phase, you know, I got to get more. I just got to put the ball in the rim more. That's it.
How much do you think of these types of things and the playmaker you've become, the rise you've taken, and all that culminating into next month when you reach March Madness?
March Madness. Be a dream come true to playing that since we missed last year. But March Madness is that's kind of different because you never know what team you're gonna play until you know you see who's winning. So it's a lot of the game. You know what I mean? So like it's not like a definite scouting report. You know what I mean? Because you never know who's gonna be. You never know. You don't know when the next game is gonna be. You know what I mean? And you don't know who you're gonna play right then and there. So it's like I said, it's balls to the wall. You got to go out there and find a way to win. I feel like in March Madness, you know, because in Big 12 you got time, a little, you know, maybe you got 2 or 3 days to, you know, get your scout together, figure out this and that. But in March Madness I feel like it's who wants it more. You know, it's win or go home. It's not like an NBA series, you know what I mean, where you got, you know, 7 games. Nah, you got you know what I mean, you got one win, you got one win or one loss depending on where you're going. It's whether you're going back home or you're going to the next round. And in that game right there that's the game that's going to show people, you know, what you're about, what I'm about, you know, Austin or whoever the case may be, what our team is about is going to come out, you know, when we play March Madness.
How are you guys preparing? What's next for Oklahoma? Obviously, you guys are one of the hottest teams in college basketball. What's next? Where do you see your team going in these next couple of weeks before the NCAA tournament? Do you guys have goals? Do you guys want to win 8 out of 10 games, 5 out of 10 games? What is your goal as a team to finish out the season on a high note?
If you ask me, it's to win every game. I play. That's the standard I play the game to. Is you play to win, and you play to win at the highest level every single night. Now, will we win every game? I mean, I don't know. But that's, you know, may the ball fall where it does. But the goal is to win every game. No, that's always how I've played the basketball, and that's how I've played, and that's all how I played this game. Was I play to win? And that's what my dad told me. You play to win every single time you step on the basketball court. And you know, the more games we win, the more momentum we're going with to March Madness. So I think we're going to go with the let's try to win these last, you know, maybe what, I think we got 8 games left or something like that. Then we got 8 games left in conference play. So I'm going for let's win 8 out of 8 before we go into the big dance.
Pick 3 NBA players that you just love to watch.
Oh, LeBron, that's the king. James Harden, he's lucky lefty with me, so I gotta choose James. And man, I say Kyrie.
Have they gotten an unfair rap?
You talking about the
James,
net?
Kyrie, yeah, the whole thing.
I wouldn't know. I think that's a good question. They kind of do, and you know what they've been through. You know what I mean? You see how the media you can see how the media, you know, kind of, you know, it kind of does them to a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, but they're human though. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you know, we play basketball, play on TV, but at the end of the day, you know, we're still people at the end of the day, and so we're obviously at the end of the day, we're still going to try to do what's best for us and our family. And you know, when the media was going, you know, crazy at James, you know, for doing that, and maybe he could have did it in a different way. I'm not saying, you know, obviously he could have did it in a different way, but when you have his money, you know, I mean, it's kind of different because I don't know, you know, I mean, he's making, however $100 million, you know, playing basketball. So he did his best for him, and then Dwayne Wade tweeted it. He said, he looks happy. It doesn't matter, whatever you do, how much money you have. If you're not happy, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, you just gotta be. Because money can't buy happiness. And as far as Kyrie, Kyrie does a lot. You see what he gives back to, but they don't always, tweet that out. They kind of just, sometimes they just go past that and tweet the bad stuff. But he comes back and he goes and drops 20, 30 points. Like what you gonna argue, man? And then when he sits on the court, he gives you everything he has. So
if I was an NBA GM and I was looking for a point guard, why should I draft you?
Because one thing I'm gonna do is I'm compete at a high level, at an extremely high level, every night. My game has went every level up here, and the best thing about it is it's still going, and I come to win. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not here to bring any distractions or exclude myself from the team. I'm here to be in the team, and I want to win, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win, and whether that's I got to go out there and I got to go score, 20, 30, maybe 40, that's fine. Or if I got to go score, I got to get, 15. In NBA, it's just a little easier to get. So I'll say 12 assists. Get the rebounds, grabbing some rebounds. But, man, I just know, honestly, man, I believe, my game fits the NBA. I really believe that. Me and my pops, conversation about that. My game fits the league, and I can bring. Just like you said, I can bring. I think I bring so much to the table. I can bring so much to any NBA team that would decide that would decide to draft me.
What is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness. My greatest weakness would be, I think I would put rebounding in there.
Okay.
I definitely would. That adds that separates you from other point guards. We can go in there and get boards. You know what I mean? You can go get 5, 6 rebounds, maybe more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not counting the little ones that might just bounce over to you. You know what I mean? So that right there, I just try to improve on everything though. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I mean, you can single out some stuff, but I want to be the player that gets better at every single thing, every day, every month, every year, because that's the people that's going to last in this game for a long time. I don't want to be in the league and just get there. Oh yeah, I got drafted. I'm making this much, but then in a couple of years, I'm gonna be nowhere to be found. I want to be a dude that he's in the league, year 1, year 2, year 3. Oh, here comes that next big one. That solidifies it. Then here comes that third one. Okay, that one right there. I want to do this the right way. I want to do this, play in the league for a long time. Play against some of the greatest players, man. That's I mean, who wouldn't want that? You know what I mean? What real competitor wouldn't want that? Right. If I want to go, I got people asking D, who would you want to guard in the league? I say Kyrie, Steph, Dave. I say the best players. What do you think I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say the player that's for the 14th to 15th player. Nah, I'm saying the best ones, because who doesn't want to go against the best players? Right. You're gonna get their respect too. And that's really about it. You gonna get their respect when you go against them. Right. I'm not saying that I'm gonna tap them out every time. I'm not saying that, but just know that they're gonna see me, and I'm gonna see them, but they're gonna see me too.
What's your best Lon Kruger story?
Oh man, I can go on and on about this one, but let me see. Okay, I got one. It's going to be, I can make it about me, but so one time, let me see if it's last year. And I go from this year, present time. So we're in a film this year, and it's a funny story. It's about one of our teammates though, but I was trying so hard not to laugh. So we're in a film, and it's play, which is an ISO play for EJ Harkless, for number 24. Mm-hmm. And he's in practice. He makes double cross drag step, like all in one spot. And we're on film watching it, and I'm just laughing like this dude did an AI double cross drag step.
Didn't go nowhere.
Didn't go nowhere. Yo, Coach Krug has this. He don't really like, his sarcasm is like a little different. You know what I mean? He says, "No, all nice moves, but he didn't. But you gotta go somewhere. You gotta go somewhere. But I love the moves. I love the moves. Or you can just do it and shoot it. Like you gotta go somewhere. Just little stuff like that he does. But I think that would be like that's one of the funniest moments. That's one of like the funniest like little story moments. To me, when we was in that film session. But there's so much. I mean, we could go. We can go on and on. But I mean, he's the best coach in the country. We can go on and on about his stories. I'll probably get some more if I ever think about him before we get off.
So if my notes are right, you're majoring in broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
That came over from a young age because I've always been good in front of the camera.
Nice.
I mean, I've always been I've always been able to speak well. Make people laugh, talk in front of people with no hesitation. So I think that's where it came from. Before really we think about like the basketball thing, I think that's
saying that you're trying to take John Fanta's job in a couple of years. That's what you're basically saying.
Absolutely.
If I can, John, then I'm gonna do it. But that's you though. But hey, look, but that's all you. I'm gonna stick right now. I'm gonna stick to the hardwood and do
after basketball.
I'll wait about 20 years.
Oh yeah, after basketball, I'm coming though.
No.
I'm coming.
This is the unique thing about you is and do you ever think about this? There are a lot of players who develop on the court and then the swagger comes with it. But I feel like you've had that attitude and swagger, and now 9-10 months ago you had that moment where you said, now it's time over the next 3-4 months for me to back that the hell up.
Man, that's what it is. You can talk the talk. I mean, you can always love to talk the talk, but man, it's I think it's so much more fun, man, where you can go out there and you can just work. I mean, you can go put it to task and show you and show all and show those cards. I mean, you only get so many cards that you're dealt with, you know what I mean? But man, go out there and you show your cards and show why people need to believe. And if they don't,
did you ever think about transferring?
I
know I did.
Slightly. Like this like this much, but it wasn't. But I was, I said, then I remember I told my papa, I said, nah. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go and we're gonna do it big from here. And the best thing about it is that during this stretch that we've been in, these moments, these games, have showed me. I think that's why me and my pops, have shared that moment together because it's just what I've been through as a person over the course of this year. I don't really talk so much about the other stuff that I've been through, that we've been through as a family, that I've been through as a person. But I always have that picture, in my head, because I know that. Yeah. And that's what that's what keeps me going. That's what, you find those little things, those little, tic tacs, those little moments right there, those little bumps to just, keep on pushing and you say, yeah, I'm gonna go do this.
All right. So we have 2.5 minutes left. What is your why? Why do you love the game? Why do you play the game? What does the game mean to you? What is your why?
I think you said it for me. I mean, it's pretty easy for me. Why is because I love the game. I want to be great, and if you want to be great at something, you will go. Kobe and Mike have said it all the time. You will go to the extreme to do just that and more. And I don't just do it for myself though. You know what I mean? I have people, my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandparents. I do it for all of us. I want to help all of them out. You know what I mean? I want to be able. I want to retire my mom. I want to retire my pops. I mean, my grandparents are retired. Do something for them, but I want them. I'm also my wife. I want them to see me, happy, to see me living my dream, and then being. My mom always say, I raised a star. That's all I want my mom to really be able to say is that she knows that I raised the star, and man, being at my games and me walking out of the tunnel or me running out of the tunnel and giving her a hug, I always dreamed of that.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
De'Vion Harmon, you are a great story in college basketball, and it looks like things are just getting started in Norman here. Have a great rest of the regular season, and we hope to see you on the dance floor, my friend.
Thank y'all so much.
Fella, you got to hold it. Hold it till it goes in.
I got you. Hey, I'm letting it. Just know. Hey, just know I'm be thinking of you when it's going down.
Yes.
I got you, man. Thank y'all so much.
Right.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, Demetris, we've talked to a number of different players around this sport. De'Vion Harmon has to be one of the most fascinating. What stood out to you the most in that conversation?
I mean, he's a great speaker. We just found out that he wants to, once he finishes college and after hopefully goes to the next level, he wants to become a broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
Sorry, he wants to be a broadcaster. So that was interesting. To have a guy that young already kind of planning ahead to figure out what he wants to do after basketball. So that stood out to me. He's a great, bright young man, has a great family, and a great relationship with his father. But he's also a great leader, and you can see what he's done on the court, leading on and off the basketball court. Just a great young player, has a bright future.
Well, he said it. He goes, we refuse to lose. I refuse to let my team lose to Alabama. Mm-hmm. That mentality is telling from a sophomore. A kid who was a top-tier recruit, doesn't live up to expectations as a freshman, and then that's when it hits you.
Yeah.
You didn't live up to the expectations. Some kids transfer. Mm-hmm. Some kids say, I don't need college basketball anyway. I'm going to move on and go and try to go pro. It's not that often anymore in the sport that we see a kid stay with it, look themselves in the mirror, get themselves right. For me, like that is a telling moment. And it says a lot about this kid that De'Vion Harmon looked inside himself. And who knows? I don't know if the same pathway happens without the quarantine. But for him, it ended up being the perfect timing to focus on self.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And like he has some great resources. Obviously, we talked about his dad and his mom, but the other resources, the Oklahoma Sooners alums, the Blake Griffins, the Trey Youngs, the Buddy Yields, those guys did a lot of mentoring during the offseason, getting him prepared mentally for what could possibly be next. And now this is a top 15 team, and he's one of the key factors why this team has done what they've done so far. So, I mean, they are the hottest team right now. I mean, obviously behind Baylor and Gonzaga, but this team just came on the scene. No one expected Oklahoma to beat 4 back-to-back top 10 teams back-to-back like that. So, I mean, obviously they lost to Texas Tech, which is a great game. Texas Tech is a great team. I see them in the Elite Eight, but this Oklahoma team is really, really good. I hope they didn't peak too much. I hope they're still peaking, they're still climbing, but this team has great potential. Austin Reeves, a great player, shooter. Obviously, he's out for COVID reasons, but I think once he gets back, they're going to be really, really good.
All right, let's talk about some of the top storylines in this sport right now. So something that you've seen the last week that's at the top of your brain. What is it? Who is it?
For me, it's Baylor. You know, I don't really catch them on TV as much as I would like because they don't really get a lot of TV games. But whenever I watch this team play, it's just fun to watch teams and certain players who know how to play the right way. Guys who turn down good shots to get a great shot. Guys who puts their pride and ego aside and plays for the name in front of their chest and not the name behind their chest. Guys are sacrificing every single play. It doesn't matter who scores for this team. how good is Davion Mitchell? A lot of people talk about, the leading scorer, Jared Butler. He averages about 17. But my go-to guy, if I need a bucket, I'm going to number 45, man. He has the whole package. He can score off curls, shooting threes, catch and shoot, fadeaways. He's tough. He's physical. He can guard. He's one of the best players in the country, and he's just a great asset for this team. This team has great pieces.
They do. And the fact that you have an All-American in Jared Butler and you just told me that De'Vion Mitchell will be your go-to guy says everything you need to know about Baylor. Mm-hmm. They have different pieces that could be the difference. I've been so high on Tchamwa Tchatchoua and the season that he's on as well, that he's had, because on the interior, he's been a physical force for them. Mm-hmm. They are elite defensively. I mean, this is – I've been watching college basketball since I was in the womb. But this is probably the best defensive team I've ever seen.
Man.
They are so active. They get up in you, and that's where we need Gonzaga Baylor, because Gonzaga's offense is the best in the country, and Baylor's defense is the best in the country, and we need to see that happen. And I would pick Baylor today. If these two teams met, I would pick Baylor. I don't think you could go wrong either way. I just think Baylor would have a better chance of being able to potentially dictate the game defensively, make it their type of game. And it's not that it could be a one-possession, two-possession game, but, man, it feels like we would be getting shorted in the world of college basketball if we didn't see Gonzaga Baylor in the NCAA tournament.
Because sometimes, as we know with history, not the best team doesn't always win the national championship.
Of course not, right.
It's one game. So these two teams, I'm pretty sure that's their main goal in the long run. So as much or as easy as Gonzaga and Baylor makes it seem, they know they put pressure on themselves that we're going to be good every single play. Not every single game. We want to dominate you every single play. This is one of the first teams that I've seen where defensively these guys get excited just off getting a stop on defense. These guys are diving on the ball, and they take each possession with pride. And you can tell how a team plays, or you can tell how a team practices, how they play. And they play hard. They play hard. They play together. They play as a unit. Everyone holds everybody else accountable. We talk about the Matthew Mayers kid. He
comes off the bench. He could shoot it for them.
He's 14 points per game, and he can possibly be one of the best players on the team. He already kind of has that NBA reserve coming off the bench type of mentality where he's like the microwave. He's going to come in.
Oh, yeah, he'll have a career in the league.
He's going to come in and he's going to get active and take tough shots, make tough shots. Obviously, Jared Butler, All-American, and he's so smooth, but it's like he's like a quiet assassin. But this team has so many great pieces. Obviously, Everyday John, as what they call him, Vital. Those two pieces defensively, they don't care if they score. All they want to do is get stops and play the piece that they are meant to play. And it's working. It's working. It's great to see. It's beautiful to watch.
Baylor at Oklahoma next week. Baylor at Oklahoma.
Man, I'm taking Baylor.
I'll take Baylor probably too in that game. But Sooners defend too. Baylor defends on a whole nother level. I thought Oklahoma's win over Alabama was just an inspiring performance. It showed me so much. And I still think Alabama's a good basketball team. I think they're the best team in the SEC. But
they play with 8 players.
Alabama?
No. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Alabama. They play with 8 players.
With 8 players, right.
Not coming in the game, and they still
and certain teams can do that. And they didn't seem to be winded or anything. I thought Brady Manick, we didn't get into that enough with De'Vion, but Brady Manick's fingerprints were all over the game. That kid has the best haircut in college basketball, and his activity it matches that. His hair is kind of out of control, and so is he, but yet he's in control of the game with the plays he makes.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is so much fun. I mean, I'm having a blast watching this conference this year. Most of the games are really high-level games. Even the teams on the back half of the conference are interesting. So I'm all in on the Big 12. I've said it almost every week on this pod. I would be surprised if they didn't have a team in the national title game. I think the most equipped.
Yeah. Well, like you talked about Brady Manick, he's 6'9". He can stretch 4. He can play the 5 sometime if he wants. This is a guy that got multiple 30-point points last year. He could really, really score. You can tell that he's not taking a backseat, but he's playing his role. He's picking his spots. He doesn't force shots. He doesn't have to get 20 a game, 25 a game. He gives you what the team needs, and that's what you like to see in a guy like Manick. He's unselfish. He plays the right way, and every piece of this puzzle looks like they're really, really clicking. And it's fun to watch a team get punched in the mouth not once but twice, and then, like you mentioned, look themselves in the mirror and say, "All right, guys, what do we have to do?" And then they go on a 5-game winning streak, and they just shocked the world. I know they shocked me, but it's just that's the beauty of basketball. That's the beauty of it. So that's why I love this game.
All right, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum with something that pops up in the top of my head right now in this sport. So we just talked about national title caliber teams. Let's talk about the bubble. And the bubble is growing. It's emerging. It's evolving. It's very different this year, and it's going to be weird to evaluate certain teams. There is a team that is red hot. They're one of the hottest teams in college basketball right now, and they've kind of come out of nowhere, and they come out of the Big Apple, and I'm talking about the St. John's Red Storm, who have won 5 in a row.
Wow.
And beat number 3 Villanova on Wednesday night and didn't beat them. They commanded them. This was not a close win.
Yeah.
They beat them by 11 and dictated the game. Villanova had an off night. Posh Alexander, Demetris, is a freshman from Brooklyn who fits St. John's basketball perfectly.
Wow.
Perfectly.
Wow.
He would be my Big East Freshman of the Year right now. He'd be my Big East Defensive Player of the Year right now. Colin Gillespie entered last night as we're doing this pod, Wednesday night. Yeah. Colin Gillespie had turned the ball over 12 times all season long, just 12 times the entire season. He had 6 turnovers against this kid, against Posh Alexander. Gillespie might be the best point guard in college basketball, and Alexander was in his shirt. St. John's guards you when you get off the bus. They guard you in the layup line. Mike Vaccaro wrote this in the New York Post, too. I want to credit him, but he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. Mike Anderson was a winner at Arkansas. He did some winning at UAB.
Yep.
He's a winner.
Yeah, and that's the importance of when you go to a new team, a new coach, a new city, you have to have a foundation. You have to have a philosophy. And what is his philosophy? We can tell just by watching the game. If we turn the game down and just watch, you can just tell, man, this team plays defense every single play, every possession. They're up, they're pressing. They are up, making it tough for the point guard to bring the ball up. So, I'm not surprised if Gillespie turned the ball over because St. John's, that's their DNA. They know they haven't got a top 24 player yet. I think they will.
That's the thing. And St. John's fans want to see them recruit the top tier player, as any fan base would.
Why not have a top 25 player from your state?
But Alexander's playing like it, man. Like he broke his arm in high school, and so he was a 4-star and went down to a 3-star, and now he's playing like that.
No, man. You know what? Like, it's good to see guys who stay home and play in their backyard so their family and friends, the city can support them, which is also a tough thing to do because of all the distractions. So if he's able to do that and manage those that outside nose and still perform on the court. It says great things about him as a player, but also as a team, as a coach, as a culture of just doing things the right way. So I'm happy for St. John's. Actually, I had my career high against St. John's here at the UT.
What was that again? What was the career high?
37 points versus St. John's.
Right.
That was kind of like our rival. They came into the dome talking a lot of trash, so we had to hand it to them.
There's a weird we are New York's team.
Yes. Oh no, it's not. It's real. That's real.
I know, but then you think about again. I'm just saying from afar, Midtown Manhattan to Syracuse, New York is there's just a slight difference. But you're both in New York State. It's kind of like when people say for New York football, it's like we all know you're not referring to the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, probably now they are though. Maybe.
The
Bills are playing. Even though I'm not a Bills fan, I live in upstate New York, and it's good to see my neighbors cheer on the quarterback in the Buffalo Bills, Kelly.
Josh Allen now.
Sorry, Josh.
Jim Kelly's a legend.
Allen,
Yeah.
Great guy, underdog. They have a great tight end in Knox, couple of running backs, great wide receiver. This team has a bright future, but state of New York, man, you gotta rep it.
All right, who's winning the Super Bowl?
Tom Brady. What you mean? Tom Brady.
Wow.
What? You think Tom Brady is gonna let this young fella take a championship from him? Obviously, it's not really up to him, but because it's a team game. Now, if it was one-on-one, I'm picking Patrick Mahomes. But as a team overall game, I think Tom Brady has what it takes. I think this happened for a reason. The New England Patriots didn't want him because he was too old. This is a young man's type of game. All right, well, me and my wife and kids are going to go down to Tampa where it's sunny, where my joints can, feel good because it's not snowing. And we're going to just go to the Super Bowl my first year. So I think it's destined for Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl. How about you? Who do you have?
It feels like destiny. You're exactly right because they are in Tampa Bay. They're home. Tampa Bay, I should say. Tampa, their emergence as the season's gone on, you always knew that they were going to end up making their run, and their schedule eased up late, and I just think they got into a rhythm. They have a young defense that flies around the football. Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator and has done a really nice job coordinating that defense, getting them to play better and better as the season's gone on.
Yeah.
But Kansas City's defense doesn't get enough credit for who they are and for how good they are. They are dangerous. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is dangerous. It's what led them to a win over Buffalo. It's what led them to a win over Cleveland when Mahomes goes out. Chad Henne comes in. Henne throws a pick. Cleveland has the ball at their own 25. They can't move it against Kansas City's defense. That was championship pedigree defense.
Yep.
Oh, man. To be opposite, I'm going to go with the team that I think has the best offense in football and a defense that's going to be rock solid. I don't know if I trust the Buccaneers defense in the Super Bowl as much as others do. Kansas City missing their starting center is a concern to me, but I'll go opposite of you, and I will pick the Chiefs to repeat as Super Bowl champions. And I think we're going to be talking next week about Patrick Mahomes at the age of what, 25? Being a two-time Super Bowl champion. If we're talking about that, we are going to enter GOAT conversation with this kid, and he's 25 years old. Because if you win back-to-back Super Bowls at this age, how many could you win? You could win 5 or 6.
You could.
You really could.
Yeah, I mean, this Kansas City team is the best team in the league. They're the defending champs. So that actually gives them the advantage because they have players in that locker room who knows how to play, knows what it takes to win. They have won already. But I just, it's Tom Brady. You can't leave out Tom Brady. He's always going to find a way to win. I don't know if you remember when they were down 27 points in Atlanta with the Falcons, and he just comes back and he just ruins everybody's celebration in Atlanta. Tom Brady he's trying to make history. He's already made history. And I just think that it's his time to, bring home another Super Bowl, man. This guy was on the bench, man. This guy was the third option. It's like the underdog. That's how you just drop the mic on everybody else. I'm going to win a Super Bowl, then hopefully I'm going to retire. But knowing him, he wants to play until he's 45, so you never know. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's showtime, and it's going to be fun. And whoever wins, it's going to be a great, beautiful day.
Get me some chicken wings, baby.
So are you having a party?
No.
It at home on your big screen.
All right, so I am going to a sports bar in Hoboken that is distanced. You're at a table with 3 other people. You get your table, you watch the game. That's how I'm going to watch the Super Bowl, okay? How are you watching it?
So I'm thinking about having a Super Bowl party. Me and a couple of buddies. I have an 85-inch big screen upstairs. So my friends are encouraging me to have a Super Bowl party because I have the biggest TV in the group.
How many friends? I mean, like.
Not a lot. It's like, 2 other guys that live in my neighborhood, my wife, my kids.
That's fine. A small gathering. We're not going to get into the.
5 people.
Okay. Well, that's not really a party.
Yeah,
let's clarify here. It's a small gathering. They say keep it to 10 or less. Yeah. So let's be sure, folks. Demetris Nichols he's observing the fact that we're in these times.
There's 5 people.
5 people is totally different. That's I guess that's a party in 2021 since we're all locked up inside our homes every day.
I'm gonna charge my computer before it dies.
Well, we're going off the air. We're getting off the air right now as you plug in your computer. But maybe it was about to die. But we're about to sleep as well for a week. We're on a week break. We will talk to you next week. We are going to get into next week. Next week we're going to have some fun. Okay, I didn't even tell you about this. I think next week we get into Bubbleville. We're going to talk bubble teams.
Okay.
And who's on the bubble and. Last 4 in, first 4 out. Let's see what happens. I think it'll be fun. But thanks to De'Vion Harmon. What a fantastic conversation. Subscribe to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at the Field of 68. That's where you can follow all our stuff. Goodman and Hummel, Douster and Deshawn, Christie's Court for Christy Winter-Scott. All that great stuff. We're with you. Demetris.
Yes, sir.
Have a great appetizer on Sunday.
Oh, no, I definitely will. Definitely will, man. Well, you make sure that you get home safe and you enjoy yourself.
I will. I'm going to have an old-fashioned.
Oh, there you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Thanks to producer Pranav. Thank you, Rob Douster, Jeff Goodman, Demetris Nichols. I'm John Fanta. Have a great college hoops Super Bowl weekend. We'll talk to you next week.